Yeah, I suppose my screen is visible now.
Yes.
Okay, so today we are going to begin with a chapter from class 8. Also, before we move on with um, the science class, there are a few important things which I would like to discuss with you. All right, now? So,
Yes.
also to tell me, like in class 7, how did it went for you? I mean to say that um, since you are having homeschooling, you didn't attended any exams this year. I suppose in class 8 also you will be having homeschooling. Am I right?
So I don't know.
Okay.
So like basically, if we are going to India in this like month, or then we will start from the school. But if we are not going,
Hmm.
then I will continue with my old school ISD.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, understand. Okay. So in class 7 we did study different chapters. Okay now. In class 8 in the last class also I gave you an overview of the different things which we are going to study in class 8. So there are different chapters which we are going to be discussing in class 8. The very first chapter which we will be studying in class 8 is crop production and management. Also, in class 8 now, you get to understand the basics of several things, which will be helping you in senior classes, which will be helping you in class 9, class 10. So class 8 is important because it builds your fundamentals in different things. Right now, there are several new chapters which you will be studying in class 8. Like you will be studying about microorganisms. Prior to this, you haven't studied about microorganisms. Right now, you would be studying about coal and petroleum, how it is formed in nature, how it occurs. We can derive different products from coal and from petroleum, and then you will be studying about reproduction in animals. What are the different ways in animals other than humans reproduce? What about reproduction in the case of microorganisms? Right now, you will be studying about forces, you will be studying about sound. So many different things are there. Getting it now, Sundus? So before we move on and continue our class, if there's any question which you would like to ask, please do let me know.
Okay.
Okay. Also, I'm waiting for a new student today. Khadija, I suppose, will also be joining today.
Yes.
Just let me check the message from the counselor if there's any update regarding her. Just 1 minute. Once I get update from him, now then I will be continuing. Okay. So crop production and management. So first of all, do tell me this one thing, Sundos. What do you say? Understand when I say the term crop? What does it mean? Yeah, Khadija will shortly be joining. Just 1 minute, okay now. Meanwhile, you tell me what do you understand when I say crop?
So
Like no.
like the farmer do crops, or like
Ha,
how to.
ha. Like plants, crops, are they all same thing? Plant, crop are all the same things. See, we will come to this in a minute. Basic thing is that whenever you will be growing something on a large scale, okay now, then you will be calling it a crop. Suppose I'm growing something in my garden. Okay now, suppose I have one apple plant in my garden, so I won't be calling it a crop. मैं उसे crop नहीं कहूंगा. Getting it? But if I were to acquire a large piece of land, and on that land I am growing thousands of or like hundreds of apple plant, then I will be calling it a crop. Getting it, Sundas?
So I didn't get. Can you repeat?
Just 1 minute. Yeah, Khadija. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm also good. Okay. So, Khadija, today is the first class of science. All right now. So, do tell me something about yourself. Like, where have you been uh, getting your education from? Like, currently, where you are living?
I'm living in Riyadh and I go to a new Middle East international school.
Okay, okay. Several students of mine have been going there. Okay. In the last year, also, from the eighth batch, there were several students who were going to data school. Okay, anyways. So you are living in Riyadh right now. Okay. Sundos, you are also there in Riyadh, I suppose, huh?
No, sir, I live in Khopar. It's not near, but it's like Hyderabad and other states. It's like that. Khobar and
Okay.
Riyadh.
Okay, okay, got it, got it. Okay. So Khadija, moments ago we were discussing about the chapters which we are going to be studying in class 8. So I will be quickly giving you a review of the different chapters which we are going to study in class 8. Okay, now before I do tell that, if there's anything which you would like to say, please feel free to say. So in class 8 now, in total, I believe 20, 12 or 13 chapters are there, which you guys will be studying. The first chapter which we are going to be studying is crop production and management. Then you will be studying about the microscopic world. You will be studying about microorganisms. Then we will be studying about coal, petroleum. And then you will be studying about conservation of plants and conservation of animals. Right now, like in nature, we are seeing that due to deforestation, due to cutting of plants, several issues are happening. Like wildlife is getting destroyed. We are facing global warming. Getting it now? So many species are now in the list of endangered species. So those things we'll be studying. Then we will be studying about the reproduction in animals. What are the different ways in which different animals are reproducing? Reproduction, it is basically the process of giving birth to new ones of the same kind. Getting it? So and there are some other chapters like force and pressure. What are these two terms? We experience force and pressure every day in our life, not in that manner. Meaning to say that we are able to, for example, we are able to walk on a road because of frictional force. If there were to be no frictional force, we won't be able to walk. So what is the application of friction in our different life? Getting it? Then we will be studying about sound, how sound is produced in nature, right? Can sound travel in vacuum? uh, how does sound travel underwater? Then we will be studying about electricity and what are the different effects which are produced by electricity. Like in class 7th, you guys must have studied about effects of electric current. You guys must have studied about like magnetic effect of electric current, right?
Yes, sir.
Then we will also be studying about light, uh, different phenomena that is associated by light. Why is it so that we see that stars appear to be twinkling? Is it really that the stars are flickering like a bulb? Uh, so those things we'll be studying, and how we will study about the speed of light. What are the mediums through which light can travel through? So these are the different things we should be studying in class 8. And these chapters now, it will help you build your fundamentals, which will be helping you in class 9th also. Some of the chapters will be helping you directly in class 9th and class 10th as well. So with that thing, keeping that thing in mind, class 8 is really important. All right now. Okay, so Khadija, is there anything which you would like to say? because today we are going to begin with the first chapter, crop production and management. All right. Also, just let me tell you the different things which we are going to be studying in crop production and management. Crop production and management. So the thing, first of all, we'll be studying about types of crops. What are the different types of crops? Then we will be studying about the practices of crop production. Like when a farmer is growing a certain kind of crop, it's not like he will throw the seeds on the ground. He has to prepare the ground. He has to irrigate the land, meaning that he has to provide water to the soil. He has to add fertilizers, manures to the soil. So there are different practices of crop production. In the practices of crop production, different steps are there, which we'll be studying. Then we will be studying about manures and fertilizers. What are their role in agriculture? What is crop rotation? And how is it useful for the soil? And then we'll be studying about irrigation. And after this, you would be studying about the harvesting. And the last step involved in the crop production and its management, that is storage of the food. Storage of food. Okay. So those are the different things. I have just given you the brief overview of the chapter. In these topics also, there will be different subtopics which we will be studying. All right now. Okay, so let's begin. Now you all know that every living organisms, whether it be man, whether it be animals, whether it be plants, they need food for their growth and for their survival, right? What we know about the green plants is that they are autotroph or heterotroph. Yeah.
Autotroph.
Autotrophs. So they can prepare their own food by the process of
Photosynthesis.
But he can.
yeah, Khadija.
By photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis, right now. So they prepare their own food by taking the inorganic substances from the nature. Like they take carbon dioxide, they take water, and they are doing the process of photosynthesis in the presence of sunlight, right? And there's a very important pigment which is essential for plants to do photosynthesis. What is the name of that pigment?
Carbon dioxide.
Repeat again.
In the leaves or like
In the
what?
leaves.
Chloroplast.
Chloroplast is the organelle. Inside chloroplast, there is chlorophyll. Getting it now? But unlike plants, we humans can't prepare our own food, right now? So we have to rely upon the plants for our food and on other animals for our food. Getting it now? So since we can't prepare our own food, so hence we have to rely upon them, right? And the foods that we are taking from the plants and animals, they are providing us with different type of nutrients like carbohydrates, fats, proteins, and different types of vitamins as well. And each of these nutrients have got different roles to perform in our body. Right now, like what do we know about carbohydrate? They are energy giving food. Right now, for muscle building, you require food that are rich in protein. To develop your immune system, to keep your immune system healthy, you require different types of minerals and vitamins. Getting it now? In fact, in the chapter components of foods in class 7th, you guys in class 6, you guys must have studied about different type of nutrients. Okay, now. Hmm. Now, you guys know that it's not like humans were always farmers, right? Now, it's not like humans were always farmers. Thousands and thousands of years ago, humans were hunters and gatherers. So, via this image, you can get an idea that in this, it is what is being depicted in this image. You guys tell me.
A person is farming. Like
Hmm. A person is plowing the land. Okay, now what he is trying to do, he is trying to loosen the ground, right, Khadija? You can see this is a plow. This is a plow, and using this plow, this person is actually loosening the ground in order to sow the seed in it. But all this method not developed by in just a matter of a few days or few years. It took thousands of years for humans to understand this and come to the process of farming gradually. Getting at what I'm trying to say? So earlier humans were hunters and gatherers. So they used to hunt down the animals and they used to collect their essentials from the forest. And that's how their livelihood was going on. But once they discovered that if the seeds were to fall on the ground, new plants came out of that. So gradually they discovered the process of farming as well. And earlier, you know that people were wanderers. They used to wander from here and there in search of food and shelter. But once they discovered the process of farming, so they started to settle nearby the river bodies. Getting it now? So they had the food security, they had shelter. So due to this, their population also started to grow. And gradually, when you have a good amount of population, you need to feed them well. Getting it now? The food demand increases as the population increases. So people had to do farming in a very effective manner. You can't just throw the seed on the ground and just water it and expect that a very healthy plant will grow. That's why this topic, practices of crop production, is there. Like there are different practices involved in growing a crop. I have been using this term crop, but we need to understand what does this term crop also mean. Moments ago, I was saying before you join, so before you join, Khadija, I was saying that if I were to grow a certain plant in my garden, I will call it a plant. I will call it only a plant. I won't call it a crop. But if I were to grow that same kind of plant in the field on a large scale to obtain different types of foods like wheat, or if I were to obtain rice, maize, different vegetables or fruits, then I will be calling it a crop. Getting it what I'm trying to say?
repeat again, please.
Khadija, did you got it?
No, I didn't understand.
Just 1 minute. See, say that this is my garden, let's say. And let's say I am growing some rice plants here. Okay, now there are few rice plants in my garden. And what if I were to have a large plot? Okay, now I am having a large field in which I have spread, let's say, hundreds of rice seeds, and there I am growing rice plants now. So what's the difference in this large field and my garden? The only difference I see is that I am growing the same plant, but on this large field, I am growing it at a large scale. Getting at what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
The thing is that when you grow the same when the same kind of plants are grown in the field on a large scale, to obtain different type of food items from it. Thereby it is called as a crop. So when I say that a crop of rice, so thereby it will mean that the whole field is covered with rice plants only. If I were to say a crop of wheat, so thereby it will mean that the whole field is covered with only wheat plant. Getting it, guys? Sundus, you got it. Khadija, what
Yes.
about you? Hmm?
Yes, I understood.
Okay, good. Also, there are different types of grown crops that are grown in the soil by the farmers. For example, first of all, let me write the definition. Also, you guys will be making the notes also. Right after the class, make sure you make the notes also. All right now? Hmm. So talking about crops. The thing is that when the same kind of plants are grown in the fields on a large scale. Hope my handwriting is clear to you guys. It is called a crop. So different types of crops are as follows. Different types of crops. Have you heard of cereals? This cereals, cereals,
That's the peach one.
Yes.
right now? Peas, beans, gram, that is chana,
Rice, lentils.
rice, lentils, exactly. So these are the cereals. Getting it now? So you have examples of like wheat, uh, rice. These are some of the examples. Gram and peas and gram, also called as chana, peas or beans. They are the pulses actually. So you have some type of crops which are called as pulses. Like you have gram, which in Urdu is also called as chana, peas, beans. Then you have oil seeds also. Can you guys name some of the crops which are oil seeds from which you can obtain oil seeds?
Sunflower seeds.
Sunflower seeds. Yes. Khadija. Mustard. Yes. We consume mustard oil. Then we have groundnut oil also. So groundnut is also there. So you have oil seeds also like sunflower, mustard, etc. Then we have the vegetables and fruits. So these are the different types of crops, right? Now, based on the season also, we have got three types of crops that are grown in India. Okay, now. So namely, they are the Zaid crops, Kharif crops, and the Rabi crops. Kharif crops and Rabi crops carries more importance. Sometimes questions regarding Zaid crops are also asked. So first of all, let's understand what is this Kharif crop and what is the Rabi crops. The crops which will be grown, which will be sown in the rainy season. First of all, let me tell you what does this term sown mean. Okay, now the term sown basically means that um, putting the seeds in the ground at the right depth. That is called a sown. Getting at what I'm saying?
So,
Putting the
so grown.
Mhm. Yes.
So basically grown the
Mhm.
plant.
Yes, basically growing the plants. The first step is to put the seeds into the soil. So those crops which are sown in the rainy season, they are called as kharif crops. So can you guys guess what could be some of the examples of those crops? Like we are sowing it in the rainy season. So that type of crop must be requiring good amount of water. The very common crop example is of rice. Rice requires a good amount of water, isn't it? So you have different examples of kharif crops. Like paddy is there, maize is there, millet, groundnut, cotton is also there. Talking about in which month it is sown, you know that rainy season in India is generally from the month of June to September, isn't it, Khadija?
Yes.
Hmm. So June to September. So in this month, the crops will be sown into the soil. Also, one important thing I wanted to say, that why is it that we are having the need to categorize the crops as kharif crops and rabi crops? Why don't we put all of them under the one category?
So, cause they grow in different seasons, that's why. Yes.
Okay, what does season have to do with this? Yes, Khadija, Sundus.
It grows well in different seasons.
Time of harvesting, so like the season helps.
Mhm. Okay, see, the fundamental thing is now seeds of different crops requires a different amount of water, different amount of humidity, different amount of temperature in order to germinate and grow properly. Getting it now? So for example, if paddy, that is rice, if it were to be grown in the winter season, it will not germinate at all, because it requires a proper amount of temperature in order to germinate, right? And in winters temperature is very down, temperature is very low, that's why it will not be germinating. So there are different factors which are responsible for the germination of soil, germination of seed. Those factors are temperature, humidity, right? And these are the main factors that affects it. Seed germination, you can count in it now. Temperature, basically it's the sunlight. Sunlight in this, now better it would be to say insulation. What does this term insulation mean? Anyone? Insolation. Yeah, Khadija and Sundus. Insulation, what does it mean? Insulation means the duration of sunlight. Okay, now duration of sunlight in the day, in the daytime, that is called as insolation. So on these factors, it depends. Getting it now? Now, when are we sowing the kharif crops? Sowing of the kharif crop will start somewhere around June to July. Getting it now? When the monsoon in India starts, you know that in the month of June to July, India is receiving monsoons. See, this is the southern India, this is the Arabian Sea, and that is Bay of Bengal. So from the Arabian Sea, what happens now? Moisture carrying winds are rushing towards India. Moisture carrying winds are rushing towards the India. And when it reaches the India, when it reaches the Indian peninsula, so thereby it leads to formation of clouds, and hence rainfall is happening there. So also, if you were to see that this is north, this is south, this is east, and this is west. And where is this moisture carrying wind coming from? From which direction? It is from southwest. You guys understand this thing, no? Just 1 minute. This is north, this is south, this is east, and this is west, right? Okay. This is northeast. Okay, this is northwest, this is southwest, and this is southeast. So the winds are coming from the southwest direction. So thereby we also see that we are sowing the seeds in the month of June to July because at that time India is receiving the southwest monsoon. You guys got it so far or not? Please do let me know.
Yes, sir.
Both of you got it now?
Yes.
Good then. So the obvious reason is that these crops requires a substantial amount of water, a good amount of water is required right now. And also the advantage of relying upon the rainfall is that you will be saving, farmers will be saving lots of money on water pump. They don't have to pump out the groundwater in order to irrigate their lands, in order to water their lands, right? So that is about the sowing. What about the harvesting? Harvesting simply means the cutting of the crops when they are mature enough, when they are mature. So in the when the monsoon season will be ending now, that is when it ends during the September or October. So during that time the kharif crops will be cut down. Getting it now? Also, you guys also tell me that in the month of June, July, August, or September, mostly it's a summer. The temperature is usually high, isn't it? The temperature is usually high. So thereby we also call the kharif crops as summer crops. We also call them as summer crops. Now you get to see that you are sowing the seeds in the beginning of June to July. And at that time, India is receiving the southwest monsoon rainfall is there because of southwest winds right now. But during the whole duration, I mean to say, the time period in which the crop is growing, that is mostly summer season. So that's why the kharif crops are also called as summer crops. So let me just summarize it in just 1 minute.
So just 1 second, can you show the last slide?
Sure. 1 minute. Yes. Don't worry, I will be summarizing all the points which we have discussed so far.
Right.
Khadija, do you have any questions in this? Please do let me know.
No.
Okay. So we had two types of crops based on season. Types of crops based on season. The major two ones are the Kharif and Rabi. Sometimes we study about the Zaid crops can also be studied. Also, in class now, I will be writing the bullet points. Okay, now it is not practical that I will be writing the whole sentence and the whole paragraphs for a particular term. Right now, you guys are mature enough. I suppose you guys are mature enough that you will be able to write the sentences associated with the different terms.
Yes.
Okay, now hope you guys will be able to do that. So, what are the different things I did told you? That when the kharif crops are sown
In the rainy season.
in the rainy season, correct? Okay. Also, when is this? When we are saying that it is sown in the rainy season, when does rainy season start in India? Yeah, Khadija,
June to September.
starts from June and continues till September. Right now, also is the rainfall very continuous? Is it continuous from June to September? we hardly see that it is continuous. Right now, it is actually discontinuous. So rainy season, and we sowing sowing starts in June to July, and the rainy season in India is in between the month of June to September. All right. Which winds are bringing the moisture
Like which, from the sea or the
From
direction?
the
from the sea?
southwest.
Are
Southwest. Southwest winds are carrying the moisture towards India. Right now. Also, I suppose you guys must have studied about land breeze and sea breeze in your previous classes.
yes, sir.
Right now. Okay. So see that this is the India. This is the Arabian Sea. This is land, and that is a water body. Do tell me a fundamental thing that overall the temperature of land during the summer season is more, or is it the Arabian, or is it the water body?
The land heats faster.
Land heats faster. Very good. So consider we know that land heats faster. So temperature here is high. Getting it now, Khadija and Sundus?
Yes.
While in the Arabian Sea, during the daytime, what we are seeing that temperature is low. Also, note down the fundamental thing that water heats up fast and cools down also faster. Water,
The
sorry,
water.
land. I mean to say, land heats up faster and cools down faster also. While water becomes hot very slowly and it cools down also very slowly. Do I need to write this thing? Did you guys got it or not?
Yes, sir.
Can you write it?
Sure. See, note this thing that land heats up fast and cools down fast, while water warms up slowly and cools down slowly. Now, coming back to this thing which we were discussing earlier, what what is happening here is now overall the temperature of the land here is more, and overall the temperature of the water body is less. The arrow demarcates its temperature. Also, you guys know about the convection current. Also, you guys know that wind blows from a pressure of from a high pressure area to low pressure area. Understand this thing that
Yes, sir.
this is land and this is water. Now the air above the land during the day is getting up heated more, so it starts to rise up, because you guys know that when air is heated, air molecules starts to rise up, right, Khadija? Right, Sandus? When air warms up, it starts to rise up. So a vacuum is created here, a kind of vacuum, a kind of empty space is being created here, right? And above the water, what we know that water warms up slowly. So hence the air above the water is still cooler as compared to the air above the land. So they are
Sir,
still
like I have to go.
okay, Sundus. Okay, okay.
Okay.
Mhm. But make sure you watch the remaining lecture. Okay. Anyways, yeah, Khadija, you there?
Yes.
You getting it on what I'm trying to explain here?
Yes.
Mhm. So since they are still air molecules that are above the water, so thereby it will try to rush towards the land. Why is it so? Because due to the air that is rising up above the land, an empty space is being created here. and that empty space will be occupied by the air molecules that are coming from the water side. Getting it now?
Yes.
Right now. So same thing happens here also, India, and that is Arabian Sea. So due to the rising air, a gap is being created here, and that gap will be occupied by the uh, air that is coming from the Arabian Sea. And since the air is coming from a water body, that air obviously will be having some moisture in it, isn't it? Right? So
Yes.
it brings lots of moisture from the Arabian Sea, and hence when it comes to the land, it leads to formation of clouds, and hence we see the rainfall. And all this is happening in the month of June to September. Right now, mostly in June, July, in the month of June, July, we see that most of the rainfall is happening. And also, you know that this is the southwest monsoon. So we would be writing this thing also. Southwest monsoon brings southwest winds brings monsoon in India. And lots of farmers are relying upon this rainfall right now. Okay, then also do tell me, when are they being harvested? In the month of
June to July.
no, not
No.
harvested.
Yes.
Cutting of crops. Harvesting means cutting of crops. So when the monsoon season will be ending, right now, monsoon season continues from June to September. So by September, the monsoon season will be ending right now.
Yes.
So at the end of monsoon, getting it now? Okay, what are the different examples of the kharif crop we have? The most common example is paddy, that is rice. There are some other examples also. Like you have cotton, you have examples of millets, maize, then groundnut is also there. Also, Khadija, you are required to remember all these examples of kharif crops. It is very important. Hmm. Soya is also there. So just to name a few, these are the following kharif crops which we have. Getting it now? Now, do tell me why we can't grow the paddy crop in the winter season. Why can't we grow?
Because of the temperature.
Exactly. So because of that, the temperature, and hence the seeds will not be germinating. Getting it now?
Yes.
Or how about the wheat crop, which we are going to study in a moment? That the wheat crop is actually a rabi crop, which is sown in the winter season. Okay, now. So same thing is true for the crops that will be grown in the winter season. You can't grow them in the rainy season. The seeds will be rotting. The seeds will be rotting. ROTTING. So let's understand about the another type of crops, that is rabi crops. So normally the sowing period of the rabi crops is between October to March. During this time, we will be sowing it. Sowing means putting the seeds into the soil at the right depth. Okay, now. So once the winter has started, now the farmers will be, you might have seen the farmers will start to sow the seeds of different crops like wheat, gram, pea, mustard, linseed. Okay, no? So that's all about the rabi crops. Rabi crops. And also, since they are grown in the winter seasons, we also we call them as winter crops also. Getting it, Khadija?
Yes.
So first of all, let's know, okay, what is the sowing time. So they are sown in the month of beginning of winter season, we would say, and
October.
October, exactly. Or we can say like in between October to November. So that is the time when the winter is starting here in India, right? And when do we harvest them? When the winter season will be ending, right now. And
Yes.
and now the winter season has almost ended here in India. So by the month of March or April, it is being harvested. By the month of March or April, right now. Okay, what are some of the examples of Rabi crop which we have? We have wheat, we have gram. Gram is also called as chana. We have peas, you have mustard also, and then you have linseed also. We also call the Rabi crops as, what is the another name for Rabi crops? What is the another name for the Rabi crops? Winter crops, okay, no? What is the another name for the Kharif crops? Yes, Khadija. They are also called as
Monsoon. No, summer crops.
summer crops, no, actually. Summer crops. Because the time period, the whole duration is a summer season actually. The period when it is being sown in the soil, at that time it is actually monsoon period. But the whole season, it's actually a summer season, right now, mostly. Thereby, we see that it is all. Thereby, we also call it as a summer crop. So, hope you got it.
Yes.
Okay, now. Now you see that to this day we see that there are different peoples who don't have any home, who would be continuously moving from one place to another. They are called as nomads, right? No, nomads, nomads. So till the year till about 10,000 BC, till 10,000 BC, we see that people were nomadic in nature, meaning that people were moving from one place to another. They were not having a settled life. They were continuously in search of food. They were continuously in search of pastures for their domesticated animal. Getting it now? What I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Mhm. Also, this BC. Do you understand what is the abbreviation of this term?
Before
Like,
Christ.
mhm,
Maybe before common. Before Christ.
before Christ. Okay, now sometimes you will find BCE also written as, that is before Common Era. Before Common Era. And now we are living in BC or AD.
AD.
AD. What is the full form of AD? Mhm. It's Anno Domini. Okay, na? Anno Domini. Or sometimes also you'll find after death, it means. So after death of Jesus Christ. Getting it?
Yes.
Mhm. So almost till 10,000 BC, people were still nomadic in nature. So that is another important thing which I thought you should know. So is there different type? Is this one? Wait, one more. Zat crops is also there, no? So let's discuss this one also. So Zaid crops are basically those crops which are sown between the Rabi and Kharif crops, right now. So they will be basically sown in the month of March to June. And what are some of the examples? You would see that there are some seasonal fruits and vegetables that are available in the market. Like for example, certain types of fruits are found are available in the market in during some part of the year only. Like for example, broccoli. Broccoli is available in the month of in the season of winter only, right now. And then you have some other examples of fruits and vegetables also, which you will be finding in certain season only, certain month of the year only. So keep in mind that crops are those crops which are sown between the Rabi and the Kharif crops, meaning that they are sown in the summer season from the month of March to June. So during that time, it is being sown. So that much is only important for that crops. So the different
So
types.
the so they're also known as summer crops, right?
No. We won't be calling them as summer crops because they are they are being grown in the summer season. I mean to say that they are sown in the summer season. It's not like the whole duration is a summer season.
Okay.
Getting it now?
Yes.
So is the different types of crops clear to you or not?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. So I think this thing now we will be studying in the next class, I suppose. Different method, different practices of crop production. Okay. So there are so basically the main motive that like for example, consider a farmer. What is the need for this farmer who is having a small family of 3 to 4 members? What is the need for this farmer to grow crops, to grow plants on a large land? He can just grow some amount of crop on a small plot, on a small land, and he will be growing enough amount of food to satisfy the need of his family. What is the need for him to grow the crops on a large area? Because his livelihood, first of all, his livelihood is dependent upon it, because he would be selling it in the market in order to obtain money, right?
Yes.
Also we know that crops are being grown on a large area because we have to feed a large population, right? Now we
Yes.
have to feed a large population. That is the motive here. Also, once you have grown such a large amount of crops, tons of grains are produced, thousands of tons of grains are being produced in India each year. So thereby you need to manage it also. A proper management of the grains is important, right now, because if they are not stored in a proper manner, it will be it will get infected also. Insects, worms, different type of germs will be infecting the seeds. So thereby you have to manage it in an efficient manner also. Getting it now?
Yes.
So that is the thing. So hence the name of the chapter, crop production and management, right? So in the next class, we'll be studying about the different type of agricultural practices, basic practices involved in growing any kind of crops. Also, in order to prepare the soil, we will be taking help of different type of agricultural tools, agricultural implements. Okay, now so those things also we'll be studying. So in the next class, we'll be studying about preparation of soil. Right? It is the first step before growing a crop, the very first step. Then we'll be studying about sowing, right now. But it's not like that, like we will be sow any random seeds. We will be choosing a particular kind of seed, right now. Seeds have to be sown in the ground at a right depth, right? What are the different methods of sowing? We'll be studying about that also. Also, just like we humans are in need of different type of nutrients, in a similar manner, Plants also require almost 18 different type of minerals are required by the plants. Some of them are very crucial. So in order to supplement them, in order to provide enough amount of nutrients to the plants, you would be required to provide manures, fertilizers to the soil. Right now, so those are the different things which we'll be studying in the next class. So, before we end the class, do tell me about the Kharif crops which we have studied today.
The Kharif crops, they're sown in the rainy season, and they're harvested in June to July.
Not in June to July.
No, wait. The and
When the
the
monsoon season ends.
yeah, when the monsoon season ends, that's when they're harvested, and uh,
Take your
they're
time,
known
no
as
issues. Mhm.
they're known as summer crops, and
Summer crops.
southwest winds bring the monsoon season to India.
Very good. Okay. Also, when the monsoon season is ending in the month of September, right now,
Okay.
either in September or sometime in some years, it is seen that monsoon can be very delayed and it ends by October. So between summer to October, during that time period, we are harvesting the Kharif crops. What are some of the examples?
Cotton,
Hmm.
paddy,
Hmm.
maize, and groundnut.
Groundnut, very good. You can count soybean also in it. Soybean also, right now. Okay. Also, to tell me why you won't be growing the maize crop in the Rabi season.
Because the temperature will be really less, and the seeds can germinate.
Seeds can't germinate properly. Very good. Okay. What is the sowing time period for the crops grown in the Rabi season? In the
Uh,
winter season, I mean.
Sowing on March.
October to March. Okay, now.
Yes.
From October to March. It is grown in the month of October to March, and at the starting of October, you will be you will start to sow the seeds. Right now, what are some of the examples of Rabi crops?
Uh, Wheat
Wheat, very good.
and gram.
Gram, that is also chana, basically chana.